Welcome back to a victorious podcast. I'm here with my co-host. Co-host, how are you?
Yeah, good by yourself.
I'm so tired. And I'll tell you why I'm tired, because I think it's a valid reason. We've made the, I suppose, financial decision and emotional decision to invest in a table tennis uh, table tennis table at work, and it's changed my life. It's like a drug. I've reckoned today alone. Came in yesterday. I reckon we played honestly at least 12 games each. Smoked a couple. The kids suck. If and I know a couple of my students watch this, you suck. Yeah, badly. If you're still serving like that, don't come and verse me. Um, and then today probably another 12. Like like me, Churchy Patchy, both sweating, bo galore. Not even letting the kids have it anymore. They're not good enough. Let the pros handle it.
Who's the best, mate?
Depends who you ask. I personally think it's me, but Patchy's pretty cracked. He's got good spin on the ball. See, I'm more of a speed player. He's got a bit of finesse.
Yeah.
Churchy sucks. No, yeah. Nah. We're actually all pretty considering we're all actually all right. Good rallies, but that's why I'm shattered, pretty tired. Other than that, week's been good so far. You been good?
Yeah, pretty chill. Just started working that.
New job.
Yeah, at the school as well.
You get
it's,
nervous?
nah, it's kick back
Rocked
as
up?
a.
What, in a primary school?
Yeah, it's a primary and high school.
Ooh, super school.
That's it.
Let's try, bro.
Yeah.
That's what. Look, this is. We haven't done a drop review from the last drop we've done. You're the CEO. You're the boss man. What do you reckon? How do you think we went?
Yeah, no, it was 100% a successful drop. Obviously, like it went pretty gun. Basically, nearly sold out, and within the first 2 days, I think there's 3 or 4 hoodies left. Couple of the bigger sizes, so yeah, definitely for us, successful drop. Obviously, like within the first 2 days, like I said.
Yeah, and I think like the behind the scenes stuff, the video leading up to it and things like that. I reckon that was just we've spoken about it heaps. Like we keep getting better and better. I feel, but that was the best, and then probably the
Yeah.
next one's gonna be the best we do, and eventually.
Yeah. Well, our content was good. Obviously, we done that vlog. I reckon that was a pretty mad vlog.
Yeah,
Pretty short, but I feel like it was just good quality content. And then the videos that we got for it were pretty clean as well. Obviously, like not anything too like fancy and that.
yeah.
But yeah, I think later on in the year, like just when there's that certain theme around drops. Hey, theme. Certain,
Mike Tyson.
I can't even speak, certain theme around drops, then that's like when you do like a mad campaign, long as video,
Yeah,
story behind it to give the people an insight about like basically what it's about.
yeah, and I think it was like a mad part too. Is obviously like we got more of our mates around it, and you can see
Yeah,
it in the
100.
vlog. And I think that's I guess that's an important part to us. We said it when we first started the brand, and we've said it all the way through. We want to be a community brand. Like we want everyone in on it.
Yeah,
We want us to be Canberra's brand, sort of thing like that. So I think that was a pretty special part, being able to sit back and look at some of the photos where everyone's having a laugh, and in the video everyone's getting around each other. So that was a pretty cool thing, because it just shows that we're sort of going forward, practicing what we're preaching.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Community is like a big thing. Obviously, we probably haven't done as much things that we would have liked to within community. Obviously, like some things that we want to do
Mm.
requires a lot of money. So I think, yeah, once we just keep on building up our money, then we'll chuck on some pretty mad events and things like that.
Yeah,
Maybe some sports events as well. Chuck in some prizes and that.
100%. Gotta get the money.
Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't mind a nice charity donation. That'd be great. But well, speaking of, I guess, for the people, by the people, do we say he's one of our very own? Hey, we've had him on the podcast. Laz, debutant over the weekend for the mighty Melbourne Storm. Got on the field. That's I guess even more for you. Like I'd say you're closer to Laz and things like that. But I've seen Laz over the years through like my own junior footy and stuff from the sidelines.
Yeah.
Like, it's just mad to see. Like, just as a footy fan, as a person that's spoken to him, as a person that's watched him play, like, yeah, unreal.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy. Like I've known him for a while now. And like, just you think a couple years back, he was just playing local
Yeah,
footy here for Rams. To think that he's like,
poor bloke. Oh yes.
this fella.
Horns down, fins up, baby.
But yeah, I was obviously playing here for Rams, and then went up to Q Cup, grinded it out, got that development spot, and now he's made his debut. It's pretty crazy. I know, like, sort of that stuff for me, like, gives me so much motivational.
Yeah.
So much motivation, like, it's inspirational. But yeah, like, it's mad to see him, like, grind it out and get his opportunity.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of boys, like with NRL, have the ability to play, but actually getting that opportunity to play is like a whole nother story.
Yeah, and that's like one of the big things is oftentimes the NRL isn't the best players. They're not the best players of rugby league. They're the people that stuck it out, grinded. Like they sat around, they listened, they were coachable. They did all the little things right, and I think especially for big boys and like Laz is probably debuting around the right age, but sometimes the middles and things like that can fall into that trap of wanting to debut the same time as like the backs. The backs can get into the NRL 18, 19. But for a big boy, especially with the speed of the game and things like that, and just the way your body needs to develop to be able to last, not just one game, but 5 games, 10 games, 50 games, like, it takes so much. And you're only going to look at JWH the other day. He's played 300, probably would have been 400 if you add up the suspensions. But like you look at what he's had to put his body through to get to 300 games. Like I think it's good for the middles to sort of see. I wouldn't say he's a late debut, but like he's a bit older than what you set your goals to be. But he stuck it out, and he's went through the injuries that any player can take motivation from, like you said, like what shoulder injuries, personal setbacks in the sense of things that are happening. COVID happened, and he didn't, he wasn't always on a full-time contract. Like he's had to go to work in the mornings, work all day, hard work, train. So yeah, and like when you see a bloke like that, whether he's someone whether he's a close mate or whether it's a random, you can sort of appreciate that story because you can relate to it a whole lot more than superstar in Mats, superstar in SG, straight into a development debut 18. Like
I feel like some people, even though I don't believe in luck, but I know they just sort of get like an easier path, and then some people really have to grind it out to get there.
100%.
He was one of them people.
Yeah, and that's like footy's like renowned. Or I mean, me and Church were only talking about this the other day, and you would be able to attest to this too. The first thing you get told when you sit down for your first Harold Matts session is only one person in this room is going to play NRL, and you'd remember it. It was at the room at Kipax. Like it's the same thing that I imagine nearly every single club, if not all of them, tell every single junior. Like it's the thing. Like it's not made for everyone. There's been. I think Gus Gould put up a stat the other day, or a couple months back. Like, there's been only a couple thousand NRL players. Like, we're not double digits of total players that have ever played. And I think a ridiculous number of them was just one game.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
And that's the thing. It's one game is still crazy. And I often say to the boys that I know and things like that, because I've had the injury runs and things, like the ending to like a NRL, I guess, career or something like that, if you're going for that, doesn't have to be like a dramatic, like, an injury ended at all, or you didn't get an opportunity. It's like sometimes that is it. You didn't, maybe just you weren't in the right place at the right time. Sometimes you just, like, that's the level you reach. Like,
100.
So for everyone, it's different. But to be able to see like a bloke that and a bloke that's had, I guess, like you said, the harder approach, but also, a more realistic poach in the sense of like a lot more people would have that career
Yeah,
development, I suppose. But yeah, it was pretty mad.
yeah, no. I just thought it was crazy, eh? Just looking through the team list because he actually got named, I think, 22.
Yeah,
Then going through and he was like number 17, but he was wearing 22 on the bench. Taft.
yeah. It's which is like just crazy. Like it's just one of
Yeah.
those things, and you hope that now, like I said, plenty have played one game. Now the goals too.
Yeah, well, he's playing this week as well. So.
Yeah, and that's can't remember which player it was that I've heard say on podcasts or something like that. But like they reckon because I played plenty of NRL, that like literally for the first maybe 50 games, I suppose would be like I don't know, like I said, done heaps of NRL, but like your next goal is always just the next game
Yeah.
because like especially in Laz's position, he's not a starter or anything like that, so you just got to keep earning your position on the bench. Then you got to earn your minutes on the field.
Yeah.
And and you're starting
Yeah. So much pressure, like keeping your spot.
100%, 100%. And this goes back to what I said. It isn't. It's a team sport played by a bunch of individuals. Blake Austin also said it.
How good was that video that I sent you?
Yeah, bruh, literally what I said.
Yeah, I know.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I said in our podcast with Rooster Jerky, that my like personal belief towards rugby league is it's a team sport played by a bunch of individuals because of the competitiveness for your position week in, week out. And not only that, but the competitiveness through all the grades. Like you have squad's 30 people at the start of preseason, it can be 50 people. These can all be the best of mates. All have your struggles, all hate doing Broncos, all hate doing the boot camp, all the rest. And you bond through that. But they're not going to sit there and be like, oh, mate, Dukes has played bad this round. You're selected and you go, no, I think Dukes deserves another chance. No, they want that jersey. Like that's just like the thing. And it's not that like you start having animosity to, those people. It's business.
It's just how it is, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Especially for like a lot of people, it's childhood dreams. For all of them, childhood dreams. And like it's their everything. It's their breath. So that's my personal beliefs. And Blake Austin supported it. Blake Austin in a podcast. Which podcast was it?
It was the Ebbs and Flows with Ice, like Sporting News Australia, but they got Ice to do the potties.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can say it.
Blake Austin backed everything I said.
We basically said like everyone's like chasing their next contract. Like at the end of the day, everyone's needs to feed their family, their kids, and they're going to do anything to get that next contract.
Yeah.
Which is true. Like they need like obviously you love the game, but you need to feed your family at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that like you only have to look at Jerome Luai. What?
Yeah.
4 grand final appearances, 3 grand final wins. Took Samoa to the grand final in international footy. It's won State of Origin already, like twice now, 3 times. Yeah. Like obviously, you want to win grand finals, but when you've won 3 in a row, that's your your legacy's already there. You've won. You've already done what everyone's wanted to do. So I don't blame the man one bit for going out and trying to, create some real wealth in his family.
Yeah, 100%. Like he's gonna get paid, gun, and like going to Tigers, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
Like obviously they're struggling a little bit this year, but like him being the player that he is, going there, like he could change it around, sort of. That's the mentality that he would have. So it's sort of be like keen to go there as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like we talk about, I guess, the player side of the thing or the mentality and things like that, but it's also a lot of people in the NRL as players side of things are talented at marketing themselves. Like we spoke about having your own personal brand. Yeah. Like that's Jerome Luai is marketed as a winner. Like he's a winning half, and he's done that at every level now. He comes from one of the most successful teams of all time. He's got that winning mentality, and he's got the now. You could say it, clutch performance. Like you only have to look at State of Origin, which we will get to. He's got the State of Origin win under his belt, and I'd say this whole series, other than Angus Crichton, Jerome Luai would have to be one of, if not like the most consistent performer. I think he was, considering the conditions Game 1,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, he actually played good. Yeah.
Game 2, Mitch Moses had the ball on a string, but Jerome Luai played. Obviously, the stats don't show as good, but if you watch him and you know footy, you know he was doing his job so well. Game 3, he's got that dog in him. He's straight into DCE's like face in the grill, doing the plays that leads to the first try of the game in like whatever 60th minute or whatever it was. So yeah, he's marketed as a winner, and that's how he marketed himself to get big money. Like,
Yeah, well, like apparently coming up the grades in that, he was actually better than Cleary.
yeah,
It's like everyone's known he's good, and he actually like. There's a stat. I don't know if this was last year that I knew this stat, but like in Penrith, Jerome Luai's win rate without Cleary was better than Nathan's without Jerome.
yeah,
So like when he doesn't like Nathan Cleary like just shines so much, they like don't really see Jerome Luai, but
yeah.
when he's gone, bruh, he's the man.
And that's the thing. I remember watching, because this is my little luck. I knew it before everyone else did. 2015 NYC Grand Final, I believe it was. Penrith versus, I think they were Manly back then, not Blacktown.
Yeah.
Friend of the family's captaining Penrith. It was Brent Naden. So we're like, yep, we'll watch it on TV, support Brenny. Bro, Jerome Luai was like playing, like it was just a man among boys. And I remember, I think it might be one of Penrith's last try of the game. He just, like absolutely nothing was on inside Manly's own 20, grabs the ball, 3 ankle breakers later, he's under the black post. Like just, and that was same thing. Everyone, like I remember thinking to myself watching that and thinking, oh, this bloke's going to play in the NRL. So did I discover Jerome Luai? Nah, depends who you ask. But like that team was stacked. James Fisher-Harris, Moses Leota, Jerome Luai, Brent Naden. I don't think Cleary was in it. I think he was a year like too young. And like I'm thinking of other people quickly through my head, but there was more NRL talent than that. On the other side of the field, there was NRL talent in Manly too. I think they had like Liam Knight, probably one of the Travojeviches was playing.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't just a scrubby old team, and it was the grand final, and he's come out and performed. Like, it was he's been doing it for years. Well, what's that? Nearly 10 years ago. He's been doing it since day one. The man's a winner, so you can't hate that. On to Origin. What do you reckon? Up the Blues, baby.
The best game I've ever watched.
Oh wow! Ever, not just Origin.
Like nearly, bro. Like
It was good.
Like last year's grand final was pretty tapped when Cleary just went on just ran a mark at the end. But bro, the start of that game, how the game was, 100% was the best game I've probably ever seen. But they were jamming each other, no tries, defense was tapped, and they were just absolutely bashing each other.
Hope that didn't get picked up on the mic. I remember there was one set, and I think I'd imagine like NRL's posted it or Maroons have posted it. Someone somewhere has posted it because there's no way I was the only person that took notice of it. 3 tackles in a row, like the Maroons, like forward pack, absolutely gave it to the Blues. Like it was like Paddy Carrigan put on a shot. Then I can't remember who came next, and I think Paddy came back in like a 2-on-1 tackle. Like, and it was other than probably the 8, but even then, like you always have that dumb confidence your state was going to get the job done. But I was like, I was actually like worried in the sense of like the boys are actually like going for it. And heaps of people have said that. Like it was one of the first games of Origin since like in the day where it was sort of, there was no care about club the next week or, later that week. There was no care about I might be out for the rest of the year. It was just straight up like this is the only thing that matters right now for the next 80 minutes.
Yeah. Well, like it was definitely the most physical game at the start I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, bro, they were just picking each other up, dropping each other, both teams as well. But the battle between the forwards was mad. I reckon, like, sort of at the start, bro, I reckon Queensland were, like, sort of, like, putting it on the Blues, bro.
That first 25 minutes was, like, before then, the Blues middles for the whole series were more dominant. But that first 25 minutes, I'd say, without it in front of me, Queensland middles were getting the job done.
Like, I was just watching sort of the battle between Pat Carrigan and Payne Haas. Like, bro, like, I've never ever seen Payne Haas get picked up and dropped.
Nah.
I know Carrigan picked him up, but still. Like,
well, and that's the thing too. Like, that's, like I said, disregard to Clubland later that week or for the rest of the season. Like that's Paddy Carrigan, Payne Haas. They're
Yeah.
not only teammates, they're the absolute workroom of
Yeah, 100.
the Broncos. Like if they're not playing good, well, I mean Broncos aren't doing well right now, but they could only be doing even worse if they're not named week in week out. Absolutely no care about it. Like they were going at it.
Yeah, it was tough, spray. And then I swear, just Queensland just gassed out.
Yeah,
Like they were gassed.
there was like I'd say after that 25-minute and just before half time, really for about 10 minutes, it was legit. Not that they were holding on, but they just couldn't do anything. Like they had no energy to offer anything else.
Yeah, then in attack, they just had nothing. But like credit to Blues defense as well, bruh. Queensland were going nowhere.
Nah, and like to go in at halftime 2-0 was absolutely like no representation of how the game was going at all.
Yeah.
Like, just didn't do it enough. Like, if you were just turning it on at halftime, you see Queensland up 2-0, you're like, oh, Blues might be having a bad game. Queensland aren't attacking properly, like things like that. It was no representation of like what was actually happening on the field. It was hectic.
Bro, it was crazy. I still can't even get over it.
I've been having dreams of it. Like I would, now that I've heard you say that it was one of the best games you've ever watched. Like I'd like it'd be up there, man.
Like in my lifetime that I've ever watched, like, Brad, 100% be up there.
2015 grand final was good.
Yeah, like it's just a different type of good bar.
I know, and I wish they showed the stat. They always show it in grand finals of like. They usually show it in State of Origin. Is the pace on the field?
I don't know why they did not show it
because that would have been the highest I reckon I've ever seen.
ever.
Like
I reckon that could have been the highest ever.
Yeah, and if you don't know the stat we're talking about, it's on like it usually pops up, within 10 minutes of the games kicking off, and it's like so the meters per set speed.
Yeah, I think there's like a couple of things. I swear they have like. Sure, it just shows like the intensity of the game.
Yeah, and it's based on like the speed of the game and things like that. And I think off the top of my head, last year's grand final, it showed like the average stat of a club game being like 97 or something like that. And then within the first 20 minutes of the grand final, it was sitting at like 120. And I reckon Origin the other night would have been like if the start of last year's grand final was 120, Origin was 150. Like,
yeah, I was legit waiting for that stat to come up because, bruh, the game was so fast, just end to end, smashing each other, kick the ball down, bang, same thing happened over again.
It was hectic, and like to have no moment where it really opened up for that whole first half.
Yeah, bro.
But once it did open up, as soon as get the ball in the hands of a Dubbo person, Connor Watson, little silly offload, but that's all right. Points on the board.
Yeah, bro, far out.
But it was. It's funny that you like had that stat in your mind too, because it's always like I always see it pop up, and I'm like, oh, like it must be getting physical down.
Like I was waiting for it to come up because, bro, I was looking at the game. I was just imagining being them, bro. Their lungs would have been on fire.
Oh, 100%.
Legs would have been heavy as, and bro, they were just still charging, bro.
Bro, I reckon. Oh. At my fittest, 17th minute mark, my hand's going up. For how they were playing, bro. Like, that was, it was ridiculous. Like, but yeah.
Bro, maybe even earlier.
Oh, I was pretty fit once.
In that game, that physicality.
Oh, bro, 100%. I don't know if I'm cracking double digits. I'm getting the call from Madge. I've wasted a sub. He's filthy at me.
One thing about wasting subs, bruh, that Queensland thing, bruh, they needed another forward bad.
Yeah. 100%.
So bad.
100%. And that's, like, I don't know. Obviously, as a coach, you sort of expect what's going to happen. You got a rough idea. I don't think there was any person in the world, coaching or just viewing, that thought that was how.
No way.
Like, yeah. Like, I can see, same thing as well, like, you have the people that bust the game open, like Connor Watson, Harry Grant on the bench and things like that. They full would have had to go retro. Just hooker on the bench, 3 middles. Let's do the dirty work.
It's tough, but like, bro, like at the end, you could just tell how dead everyone was. Like putting KP on, like did nothing. Even though it probably like you would expect it to do something, but like most of them middles, like would have been playing full games.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
Yeah,
but
and
that's the same with like Reece Robson, but didn't he play the whole game?
yeah,
Defended
Gerbo.
like a beast, bro.
Oh, Gerbo. What did he finished as the lowest minutes a captain's ever played in Origin history for like the whole series. I think he was like 80 something total minutes for the whole series.
Oh yeah, Jorovic.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about Reece Robson.
No, but I was saying like Gerbo,
Yeah.
like he's eating up no minutes either. Like
Yeah.
that's like you've got that rotation.
Yeah, I reckon. Like not being disrespectful, but I reckon he's a waste of a player having him there.
Yeah, and that's Madge came out after the first round. They ever sort of said like, oh, why Travojevic only play 22 minutes or whatever he played, but that's what Madge said. Like he's not your X factor that goes out and wins you the game, but he's the one that holds the lead. He's the one that keeps you in the dogfight. So, I mean,
like obviously he's there for defense, but surely someone else can defend and attack.
yeah.
Like you're playing that less of minutes, bro. Like
Yeah.
I know Rabbit has been playing like average as, but Keon Kaluma-Tangi,
Yeah.
bro, he's been playing
And he's
cracker.
proved himself in Origin
Yeah.
before.
Like I reckon, like they could. It doesn't matter because they won. Does it?
Yeah, well, that's it's the way of life. Spencer Lanu, though, that man can open up a game and nearly kill Harry Grant.
Surely he's the best bench player ever.
He'd be up there. One of the people off the top of my head that was like impactful, but he was still, I suppose, like he would have been only as young as Spencer Lanu is now. Tino Malawi when he was at Storm coming off the bench, and same when he was like started off his Origin career, he was a gun off the bench.
Bro, the intent that Spencer runs with, but no one runs like that.
Nah,
I've never ever seen someone run like that.
I would love to have like just a crop video right there of that. Like I think you got a bit of like dead ball to a standing start in Queensland zone 20, and he's just sort of looking there, skipping up and down, and then just takes off, bro. Like and was at top speed first step. Like
Yeah, bro.
the speed he can reach at the size that he is off the mark is scary.
Bro, he must be that strong and he's like obviously he's explosive as, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's probably the like if I had to tackle someone, like he's the person I would want the least, I reckon.
Not me.
I'll jam you.
I remember. Dude, was it Tane Milne? When Spencer Lanu? Oh yeah, get that treatment. Yeah, that's like, yeah, he's literally a freak of nature. You'd nearly say at that size and that height too. Like people don't like credit that height enough. Like he's at that awkward. Like he obviously, he'd be tall, but like the build that he is, and he looks sort of, not the tallest front rower or things like that. So to put in that effort to get down at a person at top speed, like
there's no one like people that are built like that. There's nowhere to hit him. If you go high, he's gonna bump you off.
Yeah.
If you go low, he's gonna bump you off.
Yeah. And you're going to get concussed because you've got a face full of kneecap.
Bro, he's an animal.
Yeah, it's stupid. From Origin, after that, local footy. Speaking of good games, Sharkies beat the Rams. 4-0. Right there. Not because of yours truly. I was 18th man, sat on the bench the whole time. Had some words, had some things to say. None of which will be repeated. But bruh, it was you weren't at Melbourne, only Riz was at Melbourne. Before on the weekend, we played a game for Erindale when I was in year 10. Rel was in year 11. We had to go to Melbourne, so fly there on the morning of, go there. It was hailing like sideways. It had the old like tin benches, like the big like wrap over ones. So it was standing on the bench. Hail just hitting the legs in dead cold wind. Field is that slow and muddy. I think we won the game like it was either 16-14 or like 14-12. Like it was stupid. Like just it wasn't even a front rowers game.
Yeah.
Because no one could. I remember.
Wasn't the game where T-Riz like,
because his hands were so cold. Jarred his finger, like went to catch it and just came straight through his hands. That's the one.
I've heard this story 1,000 times.
Oh, mate, and I wish once he'd just start lying and just say he caught it and scored. The weekend, I was like, even on the day of the weekend before we went out, I was telling people like that was the worst conditions I'd played in because it was cold and miserable on the weekend. By the time like we ran out in Reggie's, there were like well, not even the breeze, the wind and everything, the mud on the field, it would rival that. Like, it was such bad conditions. Shark Park, for some reason, like, no drainage.
Is
Like,
that where he's played?
yeah,
No, it's better than playing at Ramsfield, I reckon.
anything's better than Rams in any subject.
Here we go.
Yeah, like, it was. I went out. Second half, I got put onto the field for Reggie's, like, got subbed on. And so I'm walking out to the 50-metre line and it started hailing. And, so I've been sitting on the bench for, at that point, like, 10 minutes. So the wind's just hitting me, I'm freezing. Then walk out there, full, like, fist clenched. Hail starts hitting me. Oh, I was, like, ropeable. I nearly walked off the field. I was like, it's not worth it. Like, this isn't like... I reckon for the first 3 tackles of that set, so we've kicked off to them, I was just running like that. Hands, like, just start doing those ones because, like, my hands were freezing. I think they scored a try on us. Probably not long after that. They scored a few. I wouldn't say like 5 minutes later. Just scored, and as they've scored, the clouds have, like, opened up for a bit of sunlight. And so I've watched the ball go down and been like, fuck. And I looked up at the sun. I was so happy. Like, the warmth hitting my skin, bro, better than any drug. Better than whatever you're, like, pleasuring in life, better. It was better than that. It was awesome. Like, I didn't even care about the try at that point. Didn't care about the game. I was so happy to see the warmth, bro. It was stupid. And then gets the first go, bro. Not that, like the rain had stopped, wind had pretty much stopped, but the damage was done on the field.
Yeah, 100.
Like, for some reason, the middle of the field was, like, all right-ish. But about, like, 30, 20 metre line each side, just mud. Just mud. Like, it was, I will say, like, it was a mad game to watch, so. From, like, everyone's reports, watching the live stream stuff, because not many people came in person. Both teams are gone. Like, it was just played through the middle. Origin-esque, really. A lot of people are comparing it to Origin.
Here we go.
Yeah, so get it up your Rams.
How did you go on Reggie's? I didn't even know you played.
Yeah, well, there was a bit of confusion because I didn't get named in, like, either lineup. So it was sort of a on the day thing of, like, where am I playing? But first half of footy, not to be dramatic, arguably the worst half of footy I've ever played in my life. Just could not get my groove on. Was literally stuck in the mud. The mud wasn't helping with the size I'm currently at. Like, I just couldn't get a groove, like, at all. Like, I was filthy. Went in at halftime. One of the boys said I looked like I was about to cry, and I was like, I might. Like, I was playing pathetically. I think first run, ball goes over my head. I go to try and catch it, knock on, sweet. Went straight into the scrum. Probably that set, I think I missed a tackle. Just was terrible. And then I think the next run I tried to have, they've knocked it on to play the ball. So I've gone, like, amp myself up. Nah, get in the scrum, buddy. Pack that. And then I think I had another run or something, and it might have been another error somewhere or a penalty. Like, it was just, I couldn't get, like, no groove on or anything. But
just flush it, bro.
Flush it. It was gone. It was flushed by halftime, bro. I flushed it, went out there. And not that I was a superstar in the second half, but it was a much better performance. But it was pretty mad to be versing, like, a couple, like, Cam Willie was out there, Owen McCorgan was out there, which are, like, boys that I got to see. Like, they were always a year or two under me in footy, but I knew them and things like that. So to actually, like, go out there and verse them in a game of footy, have a laugh with them after the game, things like that, those are sort of the, like, I guess, the moments that make you happy in footy.
Yeah, 100.
Because, especially with the age difference, and, like, you'd know that with heaps of boys, like, you know, it's pretty cool to have those moments. So I just sat on the bench, 18th man for first grade. Did that well. Did that real well. I'm a good 18th man. Keep the seats warm, steal all the blankets. Like, but yeah, it was a good weekend. Good, mad as hot shower when I got home. That was nearly as good as that sun coming out. What about your weekend, Joey? Did you get around any local footy?
What did I do? Nah, I didn't.
Oh, sweet. No, shit question.
I was packing the orders, bro.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
That's what I was doing,
Yeah.
When was this? Last weekend?
Yeah. Weekend it's just gone. Must
know.
been good.
No, I don't know. Anyways,
Flush it. New
Alright.
segment.
Was I packing the waters?
I don't know, bro. I was
I know 'cause
dying.
that was the weekend
I
before.
think I nearly got pneumonia.
What did I do on the weekend? I don't know. Anyways,
I've-
next topic.
I've shattered him. I want to finish on one thing that you and I spoke about last Friday. Was it when I got my haircut? Yeah, last Friday. I sit
we
down
go.
in the chair. It's pretty normal. I guess haircut for Joey and I. He's cut my hair. Keeps telling me how good it is to cut my hair because it's real easy. I think it's because I'm balding, but it's getting thin. And Joey brings up mirrors. And the poor man gets quite worked up about mirrors. If you haven't seen, there's like videos going around online and stuff. They like you hold a piece of paper up to a mirror and like you, I don't know, put your hand behind it or something like that and stand to the side. How can you see your hand like in the mirror? Like the paper should be blocking it. I don't know if I'm doing a good job explaining this.
Yeah, well, boss, mirror, right here, put your hand on. No, put the paper there,
Yeah,
put your hand on,
yeah,
and you can still see from the edges.
yeah. Joey wants to know how can you still see your hand? Like the paper should be blocking its reflection. I said, because I've seen it explained, and not that I'm scientific at all, that it's way like that the light reflects from the mirror back into your eyes. It's how your eyes interpret it. That's how you're able to see it on that angle. And I think in the video we watched together, so we've stopped mid haircut. I think the haircut like honestly took an hour and a half because of how long we took
Yeah, probably.
talking about this. And that's what they said in the like an explanation video. It was sort of like an optical illusion in the sense of like your eyes, like the way they interpret the light. That's how it happens. That's a shit explanation. Doesn't explain anything. But Joey believes mirrors are the devil. That's
Yeah, it's just weird, bro. Like, I don't get the light thing for starters. So if someone knows, let me know.
yeah. Comment.
But like, even if you have a mirror there, I was saying to this one of the other boys, like, you have the mirror there, but you can stand there and see like all the way over there.
Yeah.
But how when it's not exactly in front of you? Bro, how can light? What do you reckon? How can light from there, bro?
Cameraman, what do you reckon?
I don't know.
Bro, it's tapped. Like,
Bruh, explain it.
bro, the mirror's there.
I know what you mean. Like I know what you mean.
Like when I was looking in the mirror, I was like looking in the mirror and I could see like all the way
Yeah,
to
you
my
can see-
backyard. Yeah.
Might be the thin paper. It might be the papers that's so thin that.
Mate, we're long past the paper.
But
No, we're
even-
saying that, like, you know how if you're standing on the edge of a mirror,
Yeah.
and like the mirrors, like, so say if I'm standing here, mirrors over there, like I can look into the mirror and see what's on the other side, like opposite me. Like, you know how you can see like the bounce, like the triangle sort of thing.
Light then. It's the light just bouncing off.
It's the light,
It's
hey?
the light,
Yeah. That's what
That
creates you.
makes sense.
That's what creates
What
you.
happens if you make it dark?
No.
Well, if it's too dark, you can't say nothing.
Interesting. Well, I reckon there's something going on there.
And we're gonna cover that in the next conspiracy
But,
theory.
like, even if that's the light thing, but what about the paper thing? That surely that does not make sense.
We're going well off topic, aren't we?
But that's what, like, yeah. Thanks very much for tuning in. It's been good. This has been another Victorious podcast. New sign behind us. That's shout out. This is Gifted Media Studio. Shout out our boy Damo behind the camera. Once again, thank you for letting us use this beautiful space. Joey, any parting words?
Someone let me know about the mirrors.
Boom, comment it on all of our social medias, please. We need answers. Thank you.